الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه وبركاته عليه. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. As we resume these tremendous classes by this tremendous work, or I'm going to praise my classes, or praise this tremendous book, or these treaties by the great Imam al-Shaykh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab rahimahullah, which is teaching the Muslims and cultivating them properly upon what is correct. And you'll find that in which a lot of people neglect these days, which is of the utmost of importance, or the utmost of affairs that are very important and vital to the rectification of society and the rectification of communities and rectification of people individually. As we continue in this tremendous treatise, Ya Ma'ash al-Ikhwa, of learning about the monotheism and the Tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we stopped in the chapter, or rather we arrived to the end of the chapter, which is in regards to what everyone, Bab ma ja'a fi ruqa wa tama'im, the chapter which comes in incantations and likewise talismans. We already stopped the previous lesson where we mentioned and said that the great Imam, if you notice in the book, that he said Bab ma ja'a fi ruqa, as we said about a couple of weeks ago. Matter of fact, it's been about almost a month now. About a month, as we said in the last lesson, just to reiterate a bit of what has been taken, so we could be all on one page, inshallah. For no problem that we review just a bit in order to be on one page. For if everyone turns to the book, to the chapter which comes in incantations and tama'im, charms, it comes in incantations and charms. As that was the chapter which we stopped at last. And inshallah, bi'idhnillah, we'll end this chapter and finalize it today. And we'll conclude it today, inshallah. Just as we mentioned previously, Ya Ma'ash al-Ikhwa, or similarly, from the last lesson where we stopped at, we said from the affairs of monotheism is what everyone, that in regards to Ar-Ruqa, which is called Ruqa, or the meaning of it is incantations. What is an incantation? Incantation is in regards to what was done before Islam, before the Prophet ﷺ was sent with the revelation, with the truth. There were certain practices before the Prophet ﷺ came with the wahi in order to rid people, or in order to protect people of certain polytheistic beliefs. What is a polytheistic belief? From those ways in which you'll find, which is done today, the belief in superstitions and myths, and people doing certain practices in order to ward off evil. Such as, for example, you'll find that people sometimes, in order to rid one or protect one from the jealous evil eye, that someone might be jealous of you, or he might envy you, or he might hate what you have of some nice clothes or nice hair, or, for example, nice shoes that you wear. And someone would be envious of you. They mean jealous. They don't like you. They don't like you because you have something nice on. For verily we know that the evil eye is real. The evil eye. What is the evil eye? When you look at someone out of envy or jealousy, hoping that that which you have of good goes away from you. That you should not have that thing. And as we know, as Muslims, we believe that there is such thing as the evil eye. You can look at someone out of jealousy or out of hate, out of hatred for that blessing that Allah has granted an individual and hoping that it goes away from him. The point I'm trying to make with this is certain type of practices were made in order to protect himself from this evil eye. From those practices is what you see in this hadith, in which we're going to talk about, inshallah, where it says in the book, where you'll find that they used to tie attachments to their riding beasts or to their animals that they would ride on. In our days and times, what people will attach of certain things to their cars in order to ward off some type of evil from happening to them, whether it be a car accident or whether it be someone envious of you or what have you. So they would tie certain attachments to the car or to their riding beasts in order to protect themselves. Whether it be a bow and the arrows, as we said from last class, if you look in your books, we talked about how they used to tie around the riding beast, what they call Awtadul Qaws, or Watadul Qaws. Watadul Qaws, where there was a bow, and they would take that bow after it was used in the battle, and they would think that this bow, meaning from the bow and the arrow, they would take the bow, bend it, and tie it around that riding beast, having the belief that that thing could protect the animal from evil. Whether it be, like we said, from something happening to the riding beast or protecting it from the evil eye. What is the evil eye again? We said out of jealousy and envy. The Prophet ﷺ came to remove these beliefs and these ideologies, to remove them. Any type of usage of these type of methods that we just mentioned in our religion of what we've been speaking about for the past couple of weeks, this is highly prohibited. As you'll find that the Prophet ﷺ came with the truth and came with the affairs that we could utilize in order to protect ourselves from evil. From those things in which we already spoke about, in which inshallah it will come again in another chapter, and we will explain it again. But tying something to that animal or some of the other methods that people use, whether you'll find that they tie something of a piece of an animal, whether it be a tail of an animal, or whether it be something of an attachment of a necklace, having the belief that that thing can protect you from evil, or having the belief that that thing can ward off evil, or it can protect you from any type of affliction, or any type of occurrence, or any type of accident, or any type of trivial matter that may hurt you in your body, or hurt you in your family, or hurt you in your children, or anything that you value. These type of methods, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not legislate for one to utilize them as a way to protect yourself. Rather, the Prophet ﷺ had explained clearly that these are matters, number one, of jahiliyyah. What is the meaning of jahiliyyah? Meaning from the affairs of pre-Islamic or before the revelation came. As these were called practices of polytheism. What is polytheism or shirk? What is polytheism? Polytheism is that we make equal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala something from the creation. Of what Allah can do, you have the belief that that something from the creation can do the same thing. From that is what, everyone? Warding off evil or removing it, or giving some type of protection to a person or a particular thing. For verily that only comes from Allah Himself. Allah is the one that protects you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that gives the fortification to the slave, so he could be protected from anything that happens of evil. Ultimately, we know nothing in the heavens and the earth afflicts you except by the will of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows even things that we deem to be evil to happen to us. There is certain methods that we talked about before that Allah did legislate as ways to protect ourselves. That He did legislate as a form of protection from them. It's like we said last lesson, the different supplications that one makes. Also likewise the different ayat that you read from the Quran, whether it be before you go to bed at night or whether it be after you pray Fajr and you read those morning remembrances after Fajr, or those different types of remembrances that's done in the morning and the evening that's been legislated to one to read in order to protect himself from evil. So if one wants to protect himself from evil happening to him and people being envious until something evil happens to you, because like we talked about, this has happened and occurred during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, where there was one of the Sahaba that he was very handsome. And he was a very what? Handsome man. And Allah Ta'ala also gave him a very good stature as far as in his body. To the point where one of the Sahaba had looked at him with the evil eye, meaning out of jealousy and envy, until he fell out on the ground. And then the Prophet ﷺ has said, أَيَقْتُلُ أَحَدُكُمْ أَخَاهُ? He says, one of you kill your brother. One of you will kill your brother. So as a result of it, what happened was he was afflicted with the evil eye. He afflicted him with the evil eye until the point where he almost fell out and he almost died. How one protects himself from those type of afflictions is through the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. The supplications that have been legislated. Also likewise, the ayat in the book of Allah that has been legislated for us to read. Those are the ways that one protects himself from these type of trivial matters that happens in all of our lives. For as far as that which now opposes our religion from the Kitaab and the Sunnah, from those matters in which the Prophet ﷺ gave an example of this hadith, of which you read in your book, in which it says, when he thought Imam Ahmad and Wed.Fri.Sun. And we know Wed.Fri.Sun ibn Thabit was a Sahabi. To the Prophet ﷺ mentioned it said, Ya Wed.Fri.Sun, لعل الحياة ستطول بك فأخبر الناس أن من عقد لحيته أو تقلد وتراء أو استنجى برجيع دابة أو عظم فإن محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم بريء منه. As it says in the narration, Ya Ma'ashal Ikhwa, as it says, Ya Wed.Fri.Sun, the Prophet ﷺ said, O Wed.Fri.Sun, perhaps life, or perhaps you will receive longevity in your life. Perhaps you will receive longevity in your life. I mean, you'll live long. فأخبر الناس أن من عقد لحيته أو تقلد وتراء أو استنجى برجيع دابة أو عظم. So inform the people, O Wed.Fri.Sun, that whoever ties his beard in a knot or ties that bow around a riding beast, or he uses to purify himself from going to the bathroom, the dung of a riding beast or bones, for verily Muhammad ﷺ is free from him. So this hadith, Ya Ma'ashal Ikhwa, this is the hadith that we discussed from last lesson, but we'll read it quickly again in order to attain certain benefits maybe perhaps we missed, so we can reiterate and also likewise benefit more. In this narration you see here, the Prophet ﷺ had prohibited the tying of one's beard in a knot. As we said last lesson. What did we say, Ya Ma'ashal Ikhwa? We said that tying the beard in the knot, or tying a knot in the beard, is prohibited. Due to three reasons in which you'll find that Ahl Ilm mentioned in this regard, as we said last lesson. Number one, as we said, what did we say last lesson? Number one, what is intended of what the people of Furs al-Faris, the people of Persia, used to tie a knot in their beard, either at the end of the beard or in the middle. As we said last lesson. We said that they used to tie a knot in the beard, either at the end of it or in the middle. Or in the middle of it. or somewhere in the middle of the beard. Either in order to instill fright inside the enemy, who they were engaging in as far as in battle. So in order to instill horror and fright inside of their enemy, they would tie their beard in a knot in order to instill what? Fright in the enemy who they were engaging in during the battle or in a battle. So they used to do it out of haughtiness. In order to show what? In order to show tajabbur wa takabbur. In order to show haughtiness. It's showing that we were people of what? Extreme strength or mighty strength, if you want to say, for lack of better words. So they used to tie their beards in a knot in order to show this. Or